Good morning, Shaler area. This is Mr. Anselmino from the High School Counseling Department. Today you'll be viewing the academic scheduling presentation for the 2018-2019 school year. In addition to myself, you may or may not hear from Mrs. Miller, who works with the counselors letters A through E, Mrs. Grimaldo, letters F through K, as well as Mrs. Hunt, letters L to Q. In addition to our staff, we also have guest appearances by Mr. Stadelman, Chair of the Math Department, Mr. Mason, Chair of the Science Department, Mr. Heiseroth, the Chair for the Social Department, and finally, Mr. Gall, the Department Chair for the English Language Arts Department. So please listen carefully, as this information should be important to you as you begin to fill out your scheduling sheet for the forthcoming school year. First item up is going to be some general information as it relates to the scheduling process. This is just general info that will help prepare you for filling out the appropriate information. The first item up is the course selection sheet. Rather straightforward. All of us have seen this in the past. The example currently reflected on the board or on the screen would reflect the 10th grade. On the left would be the entire course listings, while on the right would be the back of the scheduling sheet itself. Each of you should have a copy of this in front of you currently. As you look at the left hand of the screen, you'll see each course listing that would be available to sophomores. It would be different for those for freshmen as well as those for juniors. The courses within the box would indicate the core class requirements for that specific grade level. You would be required to select one course from each boxed area, as those would be your core classes. Courses listed outside of the box would, of course, be your electives. There's a variety of departments there, as you can see. You have the art, the business, family consumer science, music, tech ed, as well as the world classic arts. So please select those with careful consideration, as you will need a minimum of 8 elective credits to graduate from Shaler Area High School. As you work through your sheet, the back side, which is reflected by the grid, would help guide you through the process. So as you select a course, I'd advise that you go ahead and enter the course number. Now that you're familiar with the course selection sheet, it's relevant to at least share some general scheduling information as you prepare to select your courses. A general rule of thumb would always be to review the course description book. That is available online. The information that would be reflected within the CDB would be the course description itself. What does the course actually entail, as well as specific prerequisites. So in that vein, a prerequisite is a preliminary course that a student must take. You cannot take Wood Tech 4 if you've never completed Wood Techs 1 through 3 as an example. A less obvious example may be chemistry, which you see reflected at the bottom of the screen. More often than not, most students assume that biology is the prerequisite, whereas it's in reality an Algebra 1 score. So I highlight that in the sense that not all prerequisites are obvious, but it's important to realize what those may be prior to selecting a course. Course selections are subject to change, so it's important to be aware of that. Based upon a review of prerequisites. So at the conclusion of the third quarter, each counselor will review their students within their alphabetic selection to ensure that they've appropriately selected courses that they are eligible to take. As a rule of thumb, you must select a minimum of 7 credits. And then you'll see at the bottom right hand of the front page of the course selection sheet that there's an area reflected for 5 alternative backups. Given that the review of the prerequisites and the courses are not absolutely guaranteed, we highly recommend that students do take some time and consider some backup electives in the event that their first choice is unavailable. Moving on. Types of courses are going to be important. So as you consider which level course I should take, it's important to know what levels are out there and available. The first would be college and career prep, at one point in time identified as CP. Successful completion of a prior course ensures continuation. You must earn a minimum of an 89% if you're currently considering moving up from the college career prep, moving up to an honors curriculum course. So therefore, that would be the prerequisite. You must maintain a minimum by the end of the third quarter, an 89% average. For those students who are currently experiencing the honors level, of course, you've become to realize that this is more intensive coursework. To maintain the honors track, it's important to realize that I must earn a minimum of an 80%, a B average, within the course throughout the first 3 quarters. Some of the honors level courses are also identified as college and high school coursework. Now that you're aware of the first 2 levels of coursework, it's important to realize that the pinnacle of courses offered here at the high school would be Advanced Placement, AP. This is college level coursework. It closely mirrors what those students would expect to encounter once they do, if they make that decision to progress to the college level. At the conclusion of the specific high school course, there is an exam a student could elect to take, which could then be therefore substituted in as college credit, assuming the university would accept that credit. When considering advanced placement criteria, there are certain aspects, such as the weighted cumulative GPA, as well as the prerequisite course, as far as what grade the student has earned, that would dictate whether or not they're eligible for the course. To take another AP course, if you're currently placed in an AP class for the 2017-2018 school year and would like to continue for next school year, you must maintain a minimum of an 80% throughout the first 3 quarters. And the last aspect of the general scheduling information would be the graduation requirements. So as you work your way through the form, it's important to realize that your culminating experience is graduation, and I must maintain a minimum of 25 credits prior to earning my high school diploma. Within those 25 credits, you must earn a minimum of 4 English credits, 4 social studies, 3 math, 3 science. Each year you will take a phys ed, in addition to 2 healths completed, typically Health 1 between freshman and sophomore year, and Health 2 concluding between junior and senior year. Finally, it's important to realize that there are 8 elective credits that must be attained prior to graduation, therefore adding up to a minimum of 25 credits. If you're unsure of what your credit standing may be, I'd advise that you reach out to your high school counselor and request an appointment to review your graduation requirements. Now at this time, we're going to progress to specific content areas. First up is going to be Mr. Gall, the department chair for the English Language Arts Department. He will outline some of the expectations you could find within the English department, as well as specific new courses or specific details important to that area.
Good morning. I'm Mr. Gall. I'm the chairman of the English department, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the English options available for registration. For sophomores, we have the same 2 levels, honors and regular, that we do for 9th grade English. Please remember that students can move from English 9 to Honors 10 with an 89% or better in a regular English 9 class. For sophomores on both levels, the focus of the class is world literature. The core texts that you study will be from areas of the world that are not the United States or England. Junior year, we add a 3rd level to the English options, that is advanced placement. In advanced placement English language and composition, students can earn college credit through a test taken at the end of the course. Placement in the class is based on your academic record, and also students interested in advanced placement must score advanced or proficient on the Keystone test. The other 2 levels of junior English maintain those from sophomore year. They are English 11 and Honors English 11. Please note there is the same movement option as from the prior year. An 89% or better in English 10 will allow a student to move to Honors. Both regular English 11 and Honors English 11 have American literature as a focus. Core texts and supplementary materials will come from the United States. For seniors, we have a variety of options. The advanced placement program continues with advanced placement literature and composition. Please note that 11th grade AP is not a prerequisite for 12th grade AP. Like the 11th grade advanced placement class, literature and composition can also result in a student receiving college credit. In addition to the advanced placement class, we do have both Honors English 12 and regular English 12, and those continue the progression from the prior courses. In addition, there is a new 4th level called Practical Career English. This class is designed for students who are unlikely to pursue a 4-year post-secondary degree. In Honors 12 and regular English 12, the focus is on British literature, literature from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. The advanced placement class covers a variety of styles and places. I would also like to mention some of the electives that we have available in the English department. In addition to the core classes, we have a variety of electives for students who want to enrich different communication skills. Included among these are Creative Writing Workshop 1 and 2, which allow a student to explore the opportunity to write and express his or her own ideas through prose, poetry, and other methods. We have Drama 1 and 2, which allow students the opportunity of studying plays as texts and working with the concept of performing those plays. In addition, there is, in our drama sections, a stagecraft class, which allows students to explore different aspects of staging, including set design, lighting design, and other areas. We also offer people skills for those interested in a variety of methods of interpersonal communications. Finally, we offer journalism in the continuation's newspaper and yearbook, which allows students to participate in producing materials that will be delivered to the entire student body. I realize I've covered a wide variety of classes and options in a fairly short time. If you have any questions, the best resource you have available is your current English teacher. Please ask him or her about any questions you might have as far as advice on courses and electives that you should pursue. Thank you.
Hello, this is Mr. Stadelman. I'm here today to talk to you about some of the math course selections you can take for next school year. This will give you some general guidelines. However, you should definitely meet with and talk with your current math teacher to make a good scheduling decision for next year before you get a chance to meet with your guidance counselor to talk to you about your overall schedule. So the first course I'm going to talk about today is Algebra 1 Fundamentals. This course is intended for students that are currently in Algebra 1 that may need some extra work or possibly are currently failing Algebra 1 and will need to repeat it for next school year. The next group of courses are our geometry courses. So the first is Geometry Fundamentals. That's sort of a non-college track geometry course that we're intending for students that may need some extra help still remediating their Algebra 1 skills while learning geometry at the same time. Our standard or academic geometry course is for students that are on a college preparedness track, and then honors geometry is for some of our excelling students. It's mostly freshmen in honors geometry, but a few sophomores do take that class. Our next group of courses are Algebra 2 courses. Algebra 2 Fundamentals, once again, is for students that are intending on a non-college track, but still want to continue with their math sequence to get their 3 required credits for graduation. Our Algebra 2 courses are right on track for college if you're taking that as a junior, to be prepared to take some kind of 4-year or 2-year college study. In order to get an Algebra 2, you need a 70% in geometry, and some students that finish Algebra 2 Fundamentals their junior year will choose to take Algebra 2 their senior year to continue their study and possibly prepare for college. We also have an Honors Algebra 2 class that's open for 9th through 11th graders that students who are excelling in math can choose to take. We also have some courses that are advanced beyond that. Our Algebra 3 course, I would say, is closest to a college algebra course. If you're interested in going to college and you're going to take at least one math class in college, then Algebra 3 might be a good course for you. Students who would like to take that class need a 70% in Algebra 2 to be eligible. One thing to point out, that all the courses on this slide, you also must be proficient on the Algebra 1 Keystone exam, which we offer in the winter and spring each year. Then we have our pre-calculus courses, both at the honors and standard or academic level. Pre-calculus is a great course for students preparing for college, and also the Algebra 3, Algebra 2, and pre-calculus courses do have some components in them that will help students that are in the technical or trade study prepare for some of their exams and some of their coursework that's required to enter any unions or things of that nature. After that, we do have some of our more advanced courses like Business Calculus, Honors Calculus, and our AP Calculus courses. The nice thing about these courses, they are also college and high school eligible courses, which means that students can pay for credits in order to take these classes so that they can earn college credits while in high school at a fraction of the rate that they would pay in college. Prerequisites are as shown. Your pre-calculus teachers would meet and talk with you and discuss which one of these options are good for you, because there's some slight differences between Honors Calculus and AB Calculus AB. Even though they're both Scientific Calc 1 at the college level, there are some difference in pacing and some of the topics that are discussed. One thing I want to remind you of is that all these math courses in the department from Algebra 1 up through Calculus all have a required summer assignment. This summer assignment in some courses is different than others, but it's just work to prepare you and review to get you ready for the start of the next school year. We do have one additional math option that you could take for sophomores, juniors, and seniors. You could take an honors probability and statistics class. This class has a lot of good applications to different fields and different studies at the university. You can talk to your guidance counselor if maybe your major, or you can talk to your math teacher if your major is going to be something that we should look at in you taking honors probability statistics. As a sophomore and junior, you can take this concurrently with a math class. As a senior, you can take it instead of or concurrently. All good options. In the math department, we also have some other electives like computer programming in Python, computer programming in Java at multiple levels, and some of those are college and high school eligible as well. Once again, this is Mr. Stidham with the math department. Please remember as you're going through scheduling to ask your math teacher and to talk to them about any questions you may have and what schedule is best for you.
Hello, this is Mr. Mason from the Science Department talking about your course selection possibilities for next year. For sophomores, you have conceptual biology available to you next year, which is a one-credit non-lab course, although you still will be able to do labs. If you are in the general track, so you took Earth and Space Science in 9th grade, you could take biology. And if you did well in Earth and Space Science, I believe it's 90% or higher, you may be able to take honors biology as well. If you took biology in 9th grade, you'll end up taking chemistry or honors chemistry, and you can see the course requirements there. For juniors and seniors, you have available to you lab courses in terms of honors chemistry, AP chemistry, and honors organic chemistry, if you want to continue with the central science there. You also have non-lab courses, ChemCom, conceptual physics, or comparative life science if you want to take a one-credit science course that does not meet 2 times every other day. To round out the other lab courses, we have physics and honors physics. You do need to have some success in CP Algebra 2 and pre-calculus to take either one of those. And lastly, you have AP biology, which you can earn up to 4 college credits as long as you were proficient on the Keystone Biology exam. And finally, I'd like to mention some of our science options for seniors and electives. We have AP Physics, where you could earn 4 credits in a college mechanics class. 63% of students nationally earn a 4 or 5 for AP Physics. And also, do you like science and do you like cats? Why not combine them in anatomy and physiology, where you get to dissect cats? We have the non-lab anatomy and physiology. That's 1 credit, meets 1 period every day. And also we have the possibility to earn 8 credits in honors anatomy and physiology through college and high school through Carlo. Lastly, we have nuclear astronomy. It's a half credit class. It meets just 1 semester where you get to look into the modern physics of our era.
Hi, this is Mr. Heiserot with the Social Studies Department. As you can see on this slide, you have a pretty linear track in terms of your social studies options from 10th grade to 12th grade year. 10th grade, you have the options of either world cultures, honors world cultures, or AP European history. As a junior, generally the vast majority of you will either take U.S. government or honors U.S. government with some AP options as well. And then finally, as a senior, you can choose either economics, honors economics, or one of our AP courses, or problems of democracy, which I'll comment on here in a second. Now, one question that sometimes students ask me about is if I'm contemplating making the jump from general level of a course to an honors course. What are some things that I should know about maybe making that jump? And generally, things that you need to weigh is your ability to take high stakes tests. Are you a strong test taker? Are you willing to actively study multiple nights in advance? You want to look at things like your writing ability. which comes greater into play in social studies classes the farther you get in your academic career. And especially with economics, if you see the notation there under honors economics, it is recommended that you have at least completed or are concurrently enrolled in Algebra 2, because economics does have a strong math and graphing component. So you want to make sure that you keep that in mind as you're evaluating your options. Now, another thing I want to comment on is in terms of the AP European History for sophomores. So this is something that we opened up as an option for sophomores about 2 years ago, due to the fact that there is some overlap in content with the Honors World Cultures curriculum. Both are world history related courses. And by opening that up to high achieving 10th graders, it allows some students to actually get 4 AP courses in the social studies before graduation. You could take AP European History as a 10th grader, AP US History as an 11th grader, and then AP Economics as a 12th grader. And with AP Economics, you're actually taking 2 separate AP exams. You're taking the macroeconomics exam and the microeconomics exam. So if you're scoring highly on all those exams, you're looking at potentially 12 college credits just in social studies before you come out of here. So if you're a freshman and you're contemplating taking AP European History as a sophomore, again, I would recommend it to students that are, that have pretty much straight A's, that consistently score A's on exams, that have a very independent work ethic, and high level of writing ability. So again, if you're contemplating it, definitely talk to your instructor and get their recommendation, or come see me down in room 238. Finally, the last thing I wanted to comment on is that Problems of Democracy course as a senior. So this course is really geared for students that are maybe not contemplating a 4-year university option. So if you're thinking of going into a trade or some kind of technical school, community college, etc., Problems of Democracy is a course that looks at kind of ongoing social issues, and specifically it focuses on foreign policy related topics, some level of economic and wealth related topics, as well as a unit on criminology and legal issues. So just know that that's something available to you, those of you, especially maybe that aren't stronger in math or are contemplating a different kind of career option post high school. So I always suggest to students to dabble in electives that you're maybe contemplating as a career. So if you're somebody that's interested in maybe going into a behavioral science or a medical career or education, maybe consider something like sociology or psychology that would definitely give you kind of a taste of some of the subject matter that you would be exposed to in those fields. Likewise, we have trial law if you're interested in a legal profession. We have public policy and international affairs and modern global conflicts for those of you that are interested in politics or careers in government. Some of you that are maybe interested in social advocacy or pursuing maybe a nonprofit role. We have electives like the Holocaust and multicultural studies. So, use this time, to take advantage of some of those career paths that you're maybe thinking of going into.
Students must take a PE class every year. All freshmen take PE 9, which is a full-year class that meets every other day. The remaining 4 options listed fulfill the annual PE requirement and are open to students in grades 10 through 12. The standard PE class, which is a mixed 10th through 12th grade class, aerobic fitness and dance, and principles of weight training and fitness. Advanced physical education is designed to provide a more intense experience in strength and conditioning to students who have done well with an 80% average in their previous gym class. Both Health 1 and Health 2 are part of graduation requirements. For most of you freshmen, you did not take Health 1 this year. Therefore, you must schedule it for next year. If you did take it, then you will not take a Health sophomore year. All juniors should schedule Health 2 unless based on academic course load it does not fit into your schedule. Please see your school counselor if you think this situation pertains to you. In such case, you would take Health 2 senior year. At this time, please indicate your choices for PE and Health if taking Health applies to you. We have multiple elective offerings in every content area. Please carefully consider your elective choices as a way to explore various career areas, prepare for post-secondary studies, and in light of the rest of your course load. Please note the following new elective additions for next year: Anime and Illustration, which is a semester-long course in cartoon art, and Percussion Ensemble, which is a semester-long course for students who would like to learn and play percussion instruments. Also, please note that the following advanced music courses will now carry honors grade and GPA weighting for next year. Our next topic is regarding NCAA eligibility. Students who would like to pursue athletic opportunities at the Division I or II level after high school should take careful note of the following. Fundamentals math courses do not count for NCAA eligibility. It is important to maintain your grades to continue in the standard math course offerings. Note that here at the high school, we have a range of lab science courses such as biology, chemistry, and physics, to name a few. We also have several non-lab options, including conceptual biology, ChemCom, conceptual physics, and comparative life science. Potential college student athletes, please note that for NCAA eligibility, you must successfully complete at least one lab science course. NCAA eligibility also depends on a minimum GPA and ACT or SAT test score. There are many intricacies involved in NCAA eligibility. It is highly advisable to consult your school counselor in planning your coursework.
This is Mrs. Hunt from the counseling office. My first slide is for juniors and seniors, and it outlines the options that you have to choose from Beattie Career Center. There are many different options, and there are more descriptions available in the course description book, which is online. If you're interested in going to Beattie, please make sure that you investigate all of your options. The next slide is for seniors, outlining the requirements for work release. You must have 19 credits earned by the end of your junior year. You have to have fulfilled all of your Keystone exam requirements and have your own afternoon transportation. You will be dismissed after 6 periods daily, and you are expected to maintain regular employment and school attendance. If you're interested in work release, please meet with your school counselor and submit forms by the end of your junior year. Next up is a lab science schedule example. When you have a lab science, you may schedule between 7 and 7.5 credits into your day. If you schedule 7 credits, you will have a 1-semester study hall and a full year every other day study hall. If you schedule 7.5 credits, you will only have an every other day all year study hall. This is a non-lab science schedule example. You can schedule between 7 and 8 credits if you have a non-lab science. If you have 7 credits, you will have 2 semester study halls. If you have 7.5 credits, you will have 1 semester study hall. And if you have 8 credits, you will have no study halls. Here are some Beattie schedule examples. You can choose between PM Beattie or AM Beattie. Please note that AM Beattie does require you to be out of the building for an extra period. If you're scheduling for PM Beattie, you will have your first 6 classes here and then go to Beattie in the afternoon for periods 7, 8, and 9. If you are scheduling AM Beattie, you will be at Beattie for the first 4 periods of the day and be here periods 5 through 9. The max you can have with an AM Beattie schedule is 7 credits. Please make sure you prepare for the computer lab scheduling. Make sure your course selection worksheet is completed, and there are 5 alternate electives on the back. You must have between 7 and 8 credits on your course selection sheet to allow for a full day's worth of classes. Please double check that you meet the prerequisites for each course. The course description book is online, and you will find all of the prerequisites under each course description. And please, lastly, make sure you discuss your selections with your parents or guardians teachers, and your school counselor if you have other questions. Please take a look at the important dates for scheduling. All the counselors will be available at the STEAM Expo. This will be a great time to come and ask us questions if you have them. In early March, we'll have a presentation for parents and guardians in the evening, and then in mid-March, we will move on to computer lab scheduling during the school day. Your course requests will be reviewed after the third quarter grades and then posted on Edline in May. Please make sure to check your course requests. This is a great time to catch any mistakes. Any schedule changes may be made through the end of the year. If you need to make a schedule change after you do your computer lab scheduling, please put in an appointment slip to see your school counselor. Thank you for being great listeners, and we wish you luck in your scheduling and planning for next year.